Hello, everyone. I'm Bra Mister. I'm once again joined by Jay. Hello, Jay.
Hello, bro.
So we have our January shop update, which was a pretty good one.
Yeah, overall.
Yes, I agree. Overall, very good. We had lots of things come for it. The new year. We have the Lunar Twilight Night that has the little snake pauldrons. Pretty nifty. He was painter scale. And then we got Beta, Frozen Survivor, Camellia, and then we got Seed Pattern Jackel.
Yes. Our yearly cold weather survivor.
Yes. Disappointing we didn't get another gift. I was kind of hoping we were going to get another gift. I don't foresee any more gifts now for the rest of the year until December. So.
Yep, in 12 years when COD releases, you'll finally be able to fight Super Atlas.
Yeah, I still am hoping that this year brings multiple gifts. Not just one at a time. But either way, I know we both thought that maybe we get another gift. We both were hoping we get another gift for January, but it is what it is. So, the beta this year, or not this year, the beta for this month was, again, like you said, a return to the cold biome. That is Camellia. Do you have her shop blurb pulled up?
I do. Let's see here. Trembling, Camellia's frozen fingers wound the wrappings, applying precise intensities of pressure with each revolution. Slowly, the variable compression adjusted her circulation. A spreading warmth rose from her toes, lingering up under the pelt wrapped tight around her shivering body.
We'll start with the thermal wrappings, or both, because it says both.
You can't craft these because that's the thermal legging recipe, and there is no thermal legging.
Yep. But these, again, made for starter gear, so this cost 1 endeavor and 1 cloth.
Mm-hmm.
Again, cloth's not too difficult to get. Pretty much always going to start with it unless you're using croc. You have a chance to not get it. Then these become more difficult to make.
I guess, wasn't it? Stranger in the Dark can give you cloth, I think.
Yeah. There's ways to get cloth, so it's just not easy and not common. There's also resources that have cloth.
If you want to fight a king for this, I guess.
Yeah, in a Ark Survivor world, though, cloth's more valuable than it used to be because you can get the mix set 3-piece cloth. Yeah, so having cloth is good.
But yeah, I mean, it's 1 cloth and 1 endeavor, and then you get the thermal wrapping, legging things. It's 1 leg armor. It's armor cloth heavy, so fuck your cracks in the ground, I guess.
Yeah.
It's blue right. When you depart, add 1 armor to all hit locations with heavy armor, and then activate it with 1 blue affinity, plus 1 movement while you are insulated. For anyone who doesn't remember, insulated is it's a state of being. If you have 6 or more gear pieces that provide armor at all, you are insulated.
Correct.
Shields count, gloom, Mendy counts.
Yeah, because it doesn't say you have to be wearing them. It just says gear cards that grant armor points. So
roll counts.
Correct. It surprisingly becomes more difficult if you have like the scout thing or Gorm armor, where it's multiple points from 1 gear.
Yep.
You'll just need more gear. But 6 gear...
Use a full set and a shield.
Which is interesting because... It's
early game gear.
Well, when you say full set, right, you're thinking that there's going to be thermal stuff, right? Because we've already seen other thermal gear for these cold biome. You only get 4 cloth. That's not even enough to make a full set, because a full set would be 5. So
yes.
I'm assuming that whatever this cold biome starts with, or however they expect us to eventually use this stuff, cloth needs to be significantly more accessible.
if I had to guess, right, probably their like node 1 is a big woolly mammoth that I get like wool from and make cloth out of. That would be my guess.
Yeah, resources that have the cloth keyword.
Because that works, technically speaking.
Yeah, that does. So, just some way, cloth's going to need to be more abundant.
Alternatively, these are just betas, so they might be made of a completely different resource.
Sure.
You remember, I think it was the original Frozen Survivor whose name escapes me with the Frozen Founding Stone.
Hellebore. Or Hellebore.
Hellebore, thank you. Yes, her shop blurb was about, like, papery lantern gull nests. So maybe they're made of lantern gull paper. Who knows?
Yeah, something. You're going to have to get more access to cloth. But as you said, this is a beta, so you can't think about it in terms of what it will be eventually. Have to look at it what it is now. To be insulated, you're going to probably need Galanthus's gear, which was the Frozen Survivor Galanthus, the warming pelt.
Yes.
And that was, you require 3 fewer gear cards that grant armor points to be insulated. And then while you are insulated, reduce all damage you suffer by 1 to a minimum of 1. This is crazy good. The warming pelt itself is crazy good. And now stacked with this one, it's also really good. It just gets better. So you're going to need that. I mean, it's going to be really hard to become insulated when you're mixed setting if you're not using arcs, and then also needing 6 gear cards.
Yeah.
Because this isn't an outfit, or it's not outfit wouldn't work because there's no cloth set, but this isn't an accessory.
Correct.
So it's not something you can wear in addition to complete your set. So,
it's not socks you can put on under your boots.
Yeah. So it's going to be difficult to do. Luckily, Galanthus does exist, so if you have Galanthus, keep winning, because this definitely helps Galanthus.
Yeah.
It's a right blue, which is great. I mean, I'll trade my cloth for a right blue pretty much almost any time.
Sure, all day.
Yeah, all day. This is almost
like a land your one option if you're like in the perfect position where you're gonna you could make a full rawhide set, I suppose.
I mean,
I would rather just have the full rawhide bonus.
This is just always better than cloth, because cloth has no affinities, and this is 2 armor to the leg. Right? Yeah. It doesn't really matter as long as you're not talking about body, which body's twice on the dice.
Yeah.
All the other ones they're all the same. So this is just 1 more armor point than cloth, and it's a right blue. You're probably never going to get insulated from this, and if you do get it, it's going to be a long time away if you're not using Galanthus.
Yep.
So this is just always better than cloth in all situations, and it just gets better with Arc Survivors. So Arc Survivors keep winning.
I mean, they never stop.
Yeah, they never stop. That's pretty much it.
That's Camellia.
Yeah. Now...
And we have the main event.
The main event for sure. Do you have Jackel's store blurb pulled up?
I do. We do have Seed Pattern Jackel. Once, Jackel was poised to strike the killing blow when a brave survivor surged from behind, stealing her triumph. Frozen in thin-lipped silence, she could not offer even the most insincere accolades. A one-sided rivalry flourished in her embittered imagination, never once missing the chance to depart with her competitor in hopes of glimpsing his bloody defeat. Finally, the seed of her bitterness bore fruit. The image of a rending weapon, one to leave her daring's rival spineless. For the best experience, use with the Gambler's Chest expansion.
Yes, this goes with the seed pattern. I don't even know if that's true for the best experience, as we'll talk about with this. Because you get the more, if you use with Gambler's Chest and you do get seed patterns, you just have more seed patterns. But if you don't...
Therefore, you have a more thinly spread deck.
Yes, right? But if you don't have seed patterns, you go down from like 40 really quickly, or 30.
To like 4, yeah.
Yeah. So, we have the Spinal Sickle.
Yes.
Which is her weapon. I want to talk about this real quick. I made a note of this. This is this is the white box. The seed pattern white box. This is the second seed pattern white box we've seen. The first one was Willow.
Yes.
And this is exactly what it is, with no fluff, no added, no nothing. This is literally just a seed pattern card
And
with
many.
with one gear.
Yes.
At least with Willow, it was the seed pattern. Plus, it was the new sword and stuff, the new sword proficiency. Plus, it had the new weapon. I think this one specifically, Jackel here, because it's seed pattern. I don't mind it. I never thought about it too much with IR, but I think we're reaching the point where we should probably just put a character card in every single one.
Oh sure, yeah.
Every white box should probably include a character card.
Include the universe, yeah.
Not that this is bad. Just saying that white boxes, you could probably afford to put one more card in them when you compare them out.
Yeah, like the one more card that was included in Willow.
Like the one more card that was included in Willow, yeah. It's the same thing with the IRs, right? Because you get the IR resource, then you get the pattern card, then you get the gear card. Sometimes you get paired, so you get two of the gear cards.
Yeah.
But, would have been nice to see a character card or just something else in the white box.
The Envious. That's a good character card for Jackel here.
Yeah, I think it'd be neat to start putting character cards and all this stuff. I know the character cards will get really thick and your deck will be all over the place, but
well, no, because you only included a limited number of character cards, right?
Yes, I'm just saying you'll have a bunch.
Oh yeah, yes, your options will be broader.
Yes, for players who buy all the white boxes, you'll be living it up, swimming in character cards.
Sadly, for my KDS crew, we've received very few white boxes.
Yeah, hopefully that'll pick up too. So let's talk about the Spinal Sickle. We'll start here with the seed.
This thing fucking rolls.
Yeah, this thing is amazing. So Spinal Sickle is an Era 3 seed pattern. It is a generic seed, so it's not attached to anything, not attached to a quarry, not attached to a nemesis, not attached
Somewhat interesting, considering one, the weapon, and two, the fact that Jackel is literally wearing count armor from Black Knight.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But this is actually good. I think it would have been harder to, if you would have tied this to Black Knight. I think that's not as good, because then it would have been best used with Gambler's Chest, best used with Black Knight, or no, only used with Black Knight, better used with Black Knight and Gambler's Chest. So hopefully these seed pattern white boxes, the ones that are specifically called seed pattern white boxes, stick to being generic like this.
Well, say that, but Survivors of Death exists.
It's true. Well, we'll see what happens. But for this one, it is generic.
Yeah.
This is really surprisingly easy to craft.
It's quite cheap.
Some situations. The hard part of this is well, first off, it costs a leather, 2 bone, and two broken lanterns, and this is Era 3.
Yes.
Then you need to extract the spinal column of a notably tall survivor, suffer -1 population. So the suffer -1 population is the bold part, so you just need...
Yep.
The second one has no bolded. Reinforce the spine with additional bone and metal for increased heft. Nothing there is bolded. And then enlist a whip specialist to inspect the weapon for balance and durability. So you just need a whip. The whip specialist is the hardest thing to do about this.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Unless you've got Frog Dog on board.
Yeah. Now, this thing's really good.
Oh, yeah.
I think you could probably... I think this would be the first time I've ever... If I put this in my seed pattern deck, this might... It's a huge risk to invest in Rawhide Whip, but if you do, and you get that Whip Specialist before Lantern Year 7, when you do your Phoenix, you
can hypothetically make this...
You could hypothetically make this Lantern Year 8, and it wouldn't be that difficult. And getting this Lantern Year 8 is insane.
Yes.
Insane.
Oh, it's absurd. It's absurd. And again, if you're using Frog Dog has a whip. That's a better option than Rawhide in every situation.
Yes. The nice thing about this is you could use Rawhide Whip for this because you're just looking for proficiency. That's it. You're just looking for the specialist. So if you do prologue, do your typical play the game, make your Rawhide stuff, and then usually depending on what your node 1 is, if it's not Croc, Croc's a whole different conversation, and if it's not Frog Dog, you might mess around, you might toy around with some bone stuff. In those situations, you might just make the whip. I think I would probably just make the whip knowing that I could draw this.
Because Rawhide Whip needs ammonia.
Yeah, but I'm assuming you have Gorm. If you're not, like I said, if you're not using Frog Dog and you're not using Croc, it means you're using Gorm or Lion.
Have a free source of
ammonia. Yeah. Assuming that you can get ammonia before Lantern Year 2 or 3, which isn't that big of a deal for.
You need ammonia anyway, right? Either ammonia or Manhunter.
Well, I meant for Lion and Croc, getting ammonia by Lantern Year 2 or 3 isn't like that out of the question.
Yes, correct. Because the sickle needs leather as well.
Yeah, that's easy to make.
Yeah, but you still need ammonia, which is the crux here. Or again, you could crit the Manhunter's hat, I suppose.
Yeah. Rawhide Whip also not terribly difficult to wound with.
Oh, it's pretty decent. It's a halfway decent weapon.
You definitely can wound yourself some Bone Eaters.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, so you could get Bone Eaters very early, help you pretty much whip specialist. That's the hardest thing here, right? It's a barrier to entry to use this.
But it's freaking worth it.
Yes, but
yeah.
From this point forward, now we'll talk about. Just want to mention Frog Dog. Why we mentioned Frog Dog specifically? Frog Dog has a whip. Croc does too. Croc's a little bit harder to do, but Croc has fingernail.
Croc's is a seed pattern.
Yeah, you could get it, and then get the fingernail whip. But every whip going forward is fuel for getting this.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the main course here.
The main attraction, the spinal sickle itself. This is a seed weapon, melee whip sickle bone metal. 2 speed, 7 accuracy, and 6 strength. Barbed 4, reach 2, and unwieldy, which is the same thing as the whistling mace. On a natural 1, you take a damage. Red left, red down, which are just really good.
Easy to get.
For a red puzzle and a green affinity, when you perfect hit with this, transfer a luck, speed, or accuracy token from the monster to yourself once per round.
Yep.
So now we talk about count armor.
Yeah, well...
Well, not even, I suppose.
How often would something like this need to work? Well, let's say...
You've run the math, bro.
Yes. 60% of the time it works every time.
Literally 60% of the time.
Well, not literally. It's like 70, but the joke...
About 60% of the time it works every time.
So why do I say 70% of the time? Well, it's like 66 or something like that. It's 17 of 25 monsters that currently exist. When you fight the level 3 variant, will start with one of those tokens on arrival. They'll have one.
That's not accounting for AI cards, hit locations.
Not accounting for all the traits that could build these or traits that could add them. Except for one, we accounted for the Lope with the legendary horns because it automatically starts with that in play. But there are multiple ways for things to build up luck, like Flower Knight, for example. I didn't even put Flower Knight in the count because it doesn't start with the tokens. So
I believe it gets them with its new AIs that are.
Oh yeah, it will get them if you draw them.
Yep.
Same with speed. There's ways for monsters to build speed. Pretty common. So
I
lion and
really
stuff.
wish damage tokens translated to strength tokens, because then you can microwave your dragon.
Yep, it's true.
But no. However, the only downside here is that it does not say positive and it does not say may.
Correct.
Therefore, if you critically wound the monster and it gains a -1 accuracy token, on a perfect hit with this, you will gain that -1 accuracy token.
Correct.
However, you can just shred it. Or does counter armor say positive?
You could spend tokens, so
Okay, so yeah, you can shred it with
count armor.
Count armor. It's built for count armor to the point where
Well,
Jackel herself is wearing it.
this is good without count armor.
Oh yes,
This is
obvious. It's fuel for your Gormandist's appetite. It's just stats on a stick.
yeah. And what's the most common thing that monsters get? It's going to be accuracy tokens.
Yeah.
So here's a list of them: Dragon King, Dung Beetle Knight, Gorm, Lion God, Manhunter, Slenderman, Sunstalker, Frog Dog, Black Knight, Butcher, Kingsman, Phoenix, White Lion, Atlas, King, Godhand, Lope. All start with some form of one of these 3 tokens for the level 3 variants. King also has them for the level 2 variants. So you're going to be stealing stuff. Also, since you're going to be, relying on perfect hits to do this, it's got barbed 4.
Yeah, and fairly low accuracy, 7-up.
Yes, so you want to be only relying on perfect hits when you hit. So we'll go great with 15th Annie.
Yeah.
Anything you can do to do your perfect hits, you'll be stealing tokens all the time. And even if you don't wound with this, right? Because I don't think I would use this as my main damage. I'd put this on, like, the person who's tanking or something, right? And you just roll and hope you steal 1 token, and you just hope you do that eventually.
I suppose, yeah.
Lowering the accuracy of the monster is like giving everyone +1 permanent evasion.
Yes.
Lowering the accuracy of the monster by 2? Even better. Crazy. This is crazy good.
So the other really great utility part about this is that it's a whip and a sickle.
Yes, 2 great things for the hunt.
Yeah, you could in fact just put this on the scout and mitigate, I don't know, like 20% of the hunt.
Yeah. What's that? What's herb gathering do?
It gives you survival.
No, I mean, what are the 2 checks? What does it check for?
For not herb gathering, mineral gathering.
Oh, mineral gathering, yeah.
Mineral gathering, you get a bonus on that table if you have a whip and or a sickle.
Yep. And you would have both.
Because you need a pickaxe to access mineral gathering unless you're playing with Spedicules. In the worm tunnels, which is the first layer, you get a bonus for a whip. For a sickle, and then in the underground crystal caves, thank you. You need a whip. So put this, an almanac, and a pickaxe on a survivor, and they're a 1-man iron gathering machine.
Yep. This is crazy. This is one hell of a weapon. This is one hell of a utility.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of...
it turns off sinkhole. It turns off mudslide. It turns off cancer pigeons.
This is insane. Just the amount of utility that this has. Again, even if you don't think of this as a weapon, even if you think of this as, well, I'll just surge to put up my deflector, or I'll attack real quick, hopefully not draw any reactions because it has bad accuracy. The only thing I'm looking for is the perfect hit.
Yep.
Just
perfect hit with this, deflect with my wrought shield.
Yeah, and then hope that I'm increasing my perfect hit by by 2 or 3, because you don't need this to go off all the time. You only want to steal a couple tokens, then stop doing it.
Yeah.
So you just use the 15th Annie stuff. Even if you're not using 15th Annie stuff, even if you just had like Timeless Eye or the Deadism one, Dead Eye, I forget what it's called,
Yep.
And then maybe the Aya box that increases your perfect hit range.
Yep.
But pretty much the mantle, what you want from 15th Annie to increase your perfect hit range. You just wanted to buff the monster and then just go back to tanking. And then,
Yeah.
not to mention that you're also going to be like a one-man hunt negator.
Yeah, you are utility on a stick, basically.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is
Move
so
over
good.
every bow in the game. We have a new utility king.
Yeah, this is so good.
It's reach.
Yeah, this is so good, and it's again it's the once per round too, so you can only steal one token per time. So you're gonna need to do it twice for some of the higher level ones, but still, again, stealing 2 accuracy from the monster is so good.
Or 2 speed. Things get speed tokens from stuff. Dung Beetle Knight can get plus 10 movement tokens.
Yeah, when you think of it on a meta, think of this as meta, right? Besides for toughness and more cards in the deck, tokens are the thing that make a level 2 different than a level 3. You're debuffing, you're de-leveling a monster with this.
Yeah, more or less.
Which it's nuts.
You bring this Amphetosaurus, and your level 3 becomes a level 2.
Yeah, this is so good. You could make the dream is making this Lantern Year 8. Almost never going to happen.
I wouldn't even say almost never.
It will happen out there. It's the same thing as like people killing Giggle Lion Lantern Year 1 because they want to hunt and they get to throw a stone at the neck and instant kill it.
Yeah.
I
don't think the odds are that long, but
well, it can happen, right? Because you just run around, hope to survive a Giggle Lion until you scout that location with the cat eye or whatever.
Yeah, suppose so.
It can happen. This is going to be the same thing, but like you said, if you're not using this with Gambler's Chest, you're only going to have limited amount of seeds. You will draw this in time.
Yeah. Yeah, say you're using like this in Black Knight, that's 3 seeds in the deck.
Yeah, you will draw this when you want it. This is so good. Whip Specialist is difficult, but it's only difficult now. Right? This is one of those CPETs that gets easier. The more content we get, it gets easier.
Yeah. Because we know, well, actually, Frogbear has a whip. I believe you've seen a whip with Oblivion Mosquito. First Hero has a whip in there.
This is one of the times where Arc Survivors kind of get slowed down because they need butchery, but
yeah,
a rare Arc Survivor not keep winning. But even if you what was the other one I just mentioned, like Manhunter.
Yeah, Manhunter cannot hand you whips specially.
If it does, I'm saying in the future with COD, maybe it will.
Well, those updates already happened. It didn't happen.
It's true. Didn't happen.
Manhunter's already 1.6, bro.
That's true. We know we're getting more Manhunter updates because we got to get our outfit to that hat.
Manhunter's it's got stuff coming, but anyway.
It's a lion tamer, right? It gives out whip specialist. Let's go.
That'd be nice. It'd be really nice.
That would be one way to get around butchery. Is all I meant. You could use Manhunter.
Yes, correct.
Shockingly low cost for entry here. Whip specialist, but worth the investment. I think even worth making a rawhide whip for. Really, nothing wrong with this.
No notes.
This is great.
Nice to have a character card. That's about it.
Yeah, this is great. Even it's a whip that's just good, that isn't locked behind something. Because legit,
it's a good whip that is not Scourge from the King.
Well, no, that's what I was going to say. If you're in reality, right? What whip are you using unless you're using a specific one, right? Oxidized, you need to be playing People of the Lantern. So you need to have King to get the crazy Scourge. You need to have Frog Dog, or you need to be using
Crimson Croc.
Croc, right? So it's if you ever want to use a whip in the game that isn't Rawhide, you need to specifically use things. This is just a great generic whip.
It is one of 3 completely generic whips. 4 completely generic whips. Rawhide, Hunter, Ring Whip, and this.
Yeah, Ring Whip, yeah.
Like non-oxidized Ring Whip.
Mm-hmm,
but like
non-oxidized.
Who's going to use non-oxidized Ring Whip?
Yeah. All right, so next month, timeline. We got our timeline.
timeline in 20
We were
days.
supposed to
20
be
days.
talking. Just think, next month when we were doing this, we were supposed to be talking about that Wanderer, but oh well.
Yeah, that
Not
was
happening.
confirmed. Huh?
No
Got
Valentine's Day
cannibalized.
Wanderer. Kind of disappointed, but that's okay. We'll survive. All right, thank you for joining me, Jay.
Thank you as always for having me.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.